Welcome back to the Barrel Talk Podcast. We are back with another episode. This is episode 148. Joined with Nick Wayne, Will Snowball, Connor Carson's all on the call. How we doing?
Yes, sir.
Chilling.
Another week. This is way better than week 6. We had hella shit going on this week. Yeah.
A lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Injuries, man.
I feel like the games themselves were better
Definitely.
than
There were
week
more
6.
blowouts, I thought, than there would be though this week. Felt like.
But I feel like the big time games hit.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
But we can start out like we usually do on Thursday night. I know I'll let Connor go ahead and take the floor because Connor's a big Bo Nix guy.
Big Bo Nix guy. He looked
big Bo
really
Nix
good.
guy.
I mean, it wasn't really the Saints' defense is weird. I don't understand why it's not better, but I also get it because their defense is on the field for about 90% of the game, or they were on the field for about 90% of the game because the Saints' offense is nothing. But it's also Spencer Rattler and friends. So there's not really a whole lot going on, or Alvin Kamara and friends, and he didn't even have a good game. So
he's gonna get moved.
Yeah,
he wants somebody to come get him so bad.
Alvin Kamara probably gets moved at the deadline. I don't know. I just really love Bo Nix. I think he's doing awesome. I didn't think he was going to be on Denver to begin with, but I think he's doing the best he can with what he has. And I knew that game was all the Bucs. The Bucs were going to win that game. Like Sean Payton wasn't going to go in there and lose. Like then they proved it. They killed them. But yeah, it's really cool to see Bo Nix be doing really good.
Yeah, it is good to see. Saints offense is just too hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Too hurt.
A lot of injuries.
Yeah.
He's always going to have a chance with how good that defense is. That defense is going to always keep them in games. I'm interested to see what they do end up doing because the deadline is 2 weeks from today, and I've been hearing Courtland Sutton's name be thrown around a decent amount. And I'm like, do you really want to take your young quarterback's number one real weapon away?
Really?
He's not his number one though. He didn't even have a target last game.
I would say
Courtland Sutton has not been.
He's their best receiver.
But only like big play guy. Yeah, I was gonna say best receiver. Like otherwise, you got like Troy Franklin and like a bunch of friends.
Deshaun
like,
Veal, however you say that.
If you want to actually make like a go, you can't really get rid of him.
Yeah, no. I mean, Javonte, that was the first game Javonte really like ate for real.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's always going to be really, really up and down. Like you said, that Saints defense is whatever, but like a follow-up from the Saints like this is insane. Think about when they like the moment after they killed the Cowboys in Dallas, we were looking at the Saints in a whole different light. Now they're down both their receivers and their quarterback, and now their season's pretty much wraps.
It makes that Cowboys loss a lot worse. I'll tell you that.
I think we also have to give a little bit of love to the Broncos considering like how much shit they were in the past few years with Russ.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't think they were going to be able to rebound this. They're over 500. Like they traded a bunch of defensive pieces away last year. Didn't really know what they were going to look like coming into the year. Bo Nix, as good as he has looked, he's also had his struggles for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple times I've looked like almost in halftime where he has negative passing yards or something like that. So like
I would say that Chargers game was really like
that Chargers defense stout though.
The first one where
they
I was
are good.
Pretty good
that is a good.
That was the first where I was like, the Chargers defense is doing really good. The Broncos might have some problems on offense.
Yeah,
like this,
for sure.
They scored like all their points in the fourth quarter, and that was the only way it really looked good.
I think the Broncos OC is finally realizing what a weapon Bo Nix actually is, though, because I don't think to start the year they just didn't know how to use Bo Nix. I mean, obviously you know how dynamic of a runner he is, but going and watching some of these games, it looked like they were just doing things that made him uncomfortable. He wasn't a big under center guy. He played in Oregon. I mean, they're a spread. Every offense he ran was never a pro offense in college. Auburn is a spread offense. It's all shotgun based. And it was a lot of read option. It's a lot of RPOs. It's a lot of quick passes. But I just don't think that the OC kind of knew how to get him to start clicking. So there's a lot of games he looks bad, but it's because I think it's just he didn't know what to do. He didn't know who to look for. He's just not used to the NFL system yet in a sense. And then this game, I saw a lot of Bo Nix actually using his legs and kind of going back to that sort of kind of like how Kyler works, kind of like how Jaden Daniels is with that college style offense where you're running read options and Bo gets out of the pocket and he looks for running lanes. And it worked. I mean, he had like, I don't know, 11 rush attempts. He had a fuck ton of rush attempts this game.
They had some
And
like designed runs mixed in there too.
Yeah, and
like
the
to pick
Saints
up first
defense was
downs.
confused, and it opened up passing lanes for him later on. And, it allowed Javonte Williams to also start kind of getting some work finally.
Boy, was eaten.
He was eaten.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that the Saints defense is good. I mean, they've had their struggles in the run all year. They're not ranked very well in the run, but in the past, they're pretty stout. But I think that mixing Bo Nix in and actually letting him use his legs is going to be very beneficial for this Broncos offense as another weapon because they don't have a lot of weapons. I mean, Cortland Sutton is their best receiver, but he didn't even have a target. And so I like that I don't know what that says for that receiving core in a sense. Like there's a reason Cortland Sutton didn't have a target. He probably wasn't very open. It was fucking Troy Franklin. And then I don't know how to pronounce that the Vele guy or whatever it is. So I think using Bo as a dynamic rusher will really open that up for them. I have them kind of fighting for that, not fighting for that division, but I could see them as a wild card team. I don't know. With that defense.
This is like gives me back to like the point of like why quarterback is like probably the most valuable position in sports, because with how the Broncos and Commanders, if we looked a year ago and looked at the Commanders and the Broncos, we'd probably think that they're in like 5-6 year long rebuilds. Like they're not going to be okay. I'm not saying the Commanders or Broncos are like playoff caliber teams. We don't know yet, but like for what they are, from what we thought of them a year ago now, I think is like
to both
showing
over
how
500.
Yes, and the two relatively tough divisions. So I think this is like huge for the Broncos. This Broncos rebuild is going to turn around a lot. Also, got to give credit to Sean Payton. I think he's done a great job with Bo Nix, and I think Bo Nix is also the perfect quarterback for Sean Payton, because Sean Payton is going to let you know. He's not just going to be like passive. Like he's going to get on your ass from what it's looked like. So I don't know. I'm a lot higher on the Broncos situation now than I was definitely before the year, because I haven't seen enough or anything, and I know me and Nick are on the Chargers. I haven't seen enough or anything from the Chargers to make it seem like they're just head and shoulders over the Broncos right now, and they're both fighting for second in that division. So who knows? Anything could happen. Wild card might be a little bit of a stretch, but I mean the AFC is so like depleted right now to where like it could happen.
Yeah, the AFC is very weird. I don't think anybody thought the AFC would be like this. It's like if you're going by divisions, you're really only looking at the South, who you got. Maybe the Bengals kind of coming up. Steelers are doing really good, and then you have the Ravens. And the Browns season is done. Then you have that's not the South, the North.
The North,
The South is like Jacksonville and all them. Jacksonville's still bad. Colts are kind of in the mid area. Titans suck, and Texans are probably going to make the playoffs. So, I mean, and then you have the Dolphins, whom we don't know, and then the Bills will probably go all the way, and I don't know. It's just a lot of question marks for the AFC, definitely for teams. But yeah, if the Broncos could scrape together 9 wins, 10 wins, it's like maybe they sneak into that little last wild card and get shelled by the Ravens. But like, I don't know. Who knows?
There are teams where like, if they got lucky enough and matched up with like the Bills somehow, like I could already see a world where like at halftime in the wild card, I'm like, why are the Bills like down a touchdown right now?
Well, it's also just like last year when the Bills got matched up with the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers played them very tough, and it was what Mason Rudolph was starting.
Yeah.
Like they played them super tough until like the fourth quarter where the Bills kind of like pulled ahead. But like that's just like the Bills moniker. Like the Bills just somehow always play to their like opponent. So I don't know. Very weird. I could definitely see that.
You touched on the Brown season being done. We can kind of hop into the Deshaun Watson injury.
Yeah.
And everything that's kind of come with that, good and also bad reactions.
I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter think this is a good thing. Which makes I get it. People don't like him. It's also come from people who just don't like him as a person.
Yes.
And then it's coming from Browns fans who also just actively want to see him get benched. So, I don't know. It's very weird. They just signed Bailey Zappi off the practice squad today. So now they have another quarterback in the quarterback room. Dorian Thomas is hurt, which I did not know.
Well, he was out there doing.
He got hurt that game.
So who do you look towards? You look into the sky, the bat symbol. It's Jameis. Jameis is going in. He's going to start. So, I mean,
might go right there.
That's who probably everybody wants to start.
Jameis. So the Browns have the Ravens next week.
Jeez.
Oh,
I'm pretty
Okay, well,
sure.
that's a pretty bad first
Yeah,
game
they
for
do.
Jameis.
Yeah.
But,
But
I mean, hey, we're
they're
gonna try.
and then apparently teams are starting to call about Myles Garrett as well because this
Yep.
Cleveland team is pretty much unloading everything. But
That
Myles
you
Garrett's
can't send Myles Garrett away.
yeah, I
they
don't.
won't.
It would have to be like a godsend package for you to consider moving. He is your franchise. Like he is a Cleveland Brown. Like I don't. It would have to be some wicked package that would come out to.
It'd be like the Steelers moving
makes
TJ,
sense.
bro. Like that'd be the
Yeah,
dumbest
it's
shit
just-
I've ever seen in my life.
Like Crosby and the Raiders. Like it just doesn't. It's so far fetched. But who knows? The Browns are
Yeah.
a weird, dumb
Hey, man.
organization.
Yeah. Looking
So
forward
they
to seeing
can do
Jameis,
anything.
though. I don't know. With
Yeah.
Deshaun, it's just... I don't even think we should get into, like, the off-the-field stuff. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, that's just a whole nother thing. But,
I
like,
think the offense is going to look completely different.
Yeah.
I think it's going to look a lot different. I think they're going to be able to move the ball a lot better. Now, I'm not saying, like, it's going to happen right away, like against the Ravens.
Mhm.
But, like, you're going to go through these next couple games and you're going to be like, oh, my God, we can actually move the ball down the field. Because we have a quarterback back there who makes, like, he's making quicker decisions. Or he's going to make quicker decisions. They have Nick Chubb back, and, like, their defense is still all right. Like, I don't know. What are they, 1-5?
Yeah.
No. Are they 1-5?
1-6. 1-6.
Oh, they haven't had the bye yet. Okay.
So yeah, you're probably
You're done.
cooked, but
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
done.
hey, we're gonna go out there and have a lot of fun. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
Jameis
yeah.
will sling it. You know that.
Oh, they're gonna sling it.
David
This is
Njoku,
legit.
tight end 1, rest of the
David
way.
Njoku.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. This is legit Jameis. This back half of the year, legit playing for his next contract on his next team next year.
Yeah, like this is he's gonna channel. I think he's gonna channel that Saints Jameis, like that got him to the Browns basically. Like he's gonna come in and do just well enough to go get another job next year.
Yep.
Or, like,
Jameis
go
to the
back-
Raiders.
Yep, go back up someone. Like I don't know. I think it'll be fun.
I think I really did like Jameis's comments about the entire situation in general.
Well, yeah. I mean, what is he gonna say?
Oh no, but like it's always like the comments and sound bites you get from Jameis are just like so deep and so like funny / emotional at the same time.
Yeah.
That's all I was getting at. But enough with the Browns. We can kind of talk about, I guess it was 2 teams, but after watching last night, we're gonna put 3 on there. Are these teams basically cooked? Niners, Jets, and Bucks now.
Niners, no. Jets and Bucks, yeah. Like, Bucks, like, sadly, probably.
Yes.
Jets, yes, not sadly.
It's just so tough. Like, it's just so tough when you get hit with the injury bug. Like, to your better players.
Yeah. Like
when your best
the
players
Niners.
are out. I mean, Debo is sick.
fucking hospitalized.
I guess he got put in the hospital or something, ducking smoke. But then Ayuk tears his shit. I mean, I don't think the 49ers are cooked necessarily.
No,
especially 'cause
CMC
that
should come back
division-
soon.
That division is still like theirs.
Apparently it's
Like-
in November, but like you're talking about CMC who's coming off of like calf strain. Like you gotta pay attention to that.
I think
And Jordan Mason's also been good to where like, but like
Oh,
he's not
yeah.
CMC.
the
No.
49ers are probably fine. Not, I don't think the Jets are cooked necessarily. They look like shit, but I don't think they're like done. Like I think they're gonna string a couple wins here and there against some like bottom feeders and stuff. Now the Bucks could be cooked. They actually have no one now. Mike Evans looks like he's gonna be out for that hamstring. He's gonna be out for at least 3-4 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
3,
yeah.
4, 5 weeks, and
He might go on
Chris
far.
Godwin's out for the season now. And that
What?
defense
Kate
looks
Otten and Trey
terrible.
Palmer. and
Jalen McMillan season,
Sterling-
baby.
Jalen
McMillan,
McMillan.
like-
Let's
Sterling
go.
Shepard.
I was watching this man Kate Otten get his ass beat last night.
Oh yeah.
I think
Dude.
every hit he took would have put me in the hospital for 2 weeks. Like, I don't know.
He was
I mean,
I'm
they
getting
might need to
smacked
move.
around.
They might
Big
need to
K-Dot
move
guy.
fucking Bucky Irving to receiver at this point.
Oh man, I don't even
Like,
know.
fuck.
If they want to salvage their season, they're definitely gonna need to go get at least another competent receiver because
Like
you don't know who knows how long Mike Evans is gonna be out. It's a re-aggravated injury,
hmm
so it could be 4 to 5 weeks, and they're still in a division to where they can well compete if they were to go possibly snag somebody.
I mean, with that backfield and how much they're like, we don't know what to do with it, they might as well move one of them. Fuck it. I mean,
They have a week 11 bye, seeing things that like it's going to track to him coming back after the bye.
We
Oh,
got
okay,
That would
that
make
makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
but I mean, at this point, when they're like, I don't know, like if they need a receiver that bad, they've got 2 rookie running backs. Well, actually, is Sean Tucker? I've never even heard of Sean. Is he a rookie?
Second year, I think.
Yeah,
Second
he's
year?
undrafted.
I mean, they could look to move one of those 3 running backs because at this point they don't know what to do with them because the reports literally were like, "Yeah, we're gonna just play them one each drive, and whoever's hot goes." And it's like, all right, let's
Half
just.
the time it's just Bucky Irving.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, if you have that much faith in Sean Tucker and Bucky Irving, just fucking trade Rashad White because you could probably go and get someone decent for Rashad White. I don't see why you couldn't, especially after the game he just had.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, I'm not going to count on Jalen McMillan and fucking Sterling
Sterling
Shepard
Shepard?
to get it done. I mean, maybe. I don't think so. I mean, the Falcons just dropped a fucking horrific game to the Seattle Seahawks. So that division is so up for grabs still. And I don't know. So I don't know if they don't make a move, they're dead.
Yeah. And
The
the deadline
Jets-
is 2 weeks from today.
Yeah. The Jets, I don't want to say that the Jets are done, but because that front seven is so good and that offense, if they start clicking, will be very good. But they're so beat up in the secondary. I mean, they've got practice squad cornerbacks playing safety because they have nobody left. So I just don't.
They're also very behind the sticks at 2-5.
Yeah, and they're way down there.
And they're also
I
not
don't,
getting
but
any
like,
good
but
play
I
from
don't.
their
That division is so bad. I mean, even getting second
I mean, the
doesn't
Bills
mean
are
they're going to
5
make the
too.
wild card, but
They'd have to
they'd have
get
to win
at
out.
least 9 wins to get the wild card.
What,
at
9,
least.
10? They'd almost have to win out in a sense.
They'd have to go 7-3 the rest of the way.
I
Looking
I
at-
just don't see that happening.
I have their schedule right here, but I'm not going to say they're cooked just because we just talked about the Broncos, who are a sub 500 team who could be in the wild card situation. And I trust the Jets a lot more than the Broncos going into the long term of the season.
Mhm.
But the Broncos beat them.
It's true.
They did.
In terms of the long term of the
game.
season, in terms of the long term of the season, I'm taking the Jets.
I don't know.
But looking at looking at their next couple, they got the Patriots next week.
W.
So you're 3-5 probably there.
Oh, don't let them lose that game.
Oh my
You
God.
got
Andre Stevenson, please.
you got the Texans on Thursday night in MetLife.
That should be a good one, but probably a loss.
like CJ Stroud might get sacked 8 times that game.
Terrible, though.
He might get sacked 8 times. They could pull that out.
Yeah,
And then you go to Arizona.
That should be a
That'd be a
win.
good game.
yeah, that'll be a good one.
And then you got the Colts.
They should
Jesus.
win that too because the Colts offense can't move the ball.
These are a bunch of like up in the air games.
Then you got the Seahawks.
Like so 50-50. Like
Everything
A
is
lot, a lot of
50-50.
50-50 games.
Then it's even more 50-50. Then you got the Dolphins. Who knows what Tua looks like at this time?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Then the Jags,
Okay.
and then the Rams. And the Rams are talking about basically blowing it up. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I'm out on them because of how, like we kind of just talked about, how the situation in the AFC is really looking at this current time. So I'm gonna keep the door open on the Jets. I think the Bucks are cooked because looking at that division, if you don't win it with how good the North is looking, like if you don't damn near win your division or
That's
like
true.
have close to double-digit wins, like you're probably not gonna make it in the NFC at this current time. But there's still a lot to unfold. But I just don't, you're losing your number 1 and number 2. Like this is dire scenario for the Bucks. And then the Niners is more of like, now it's really on Purdy. Now we're going to see a lot of questions answered about Purdy. Like now your one is Juwan Jennings. Ayuk's out for the
Who's
year.
also hurt.
Ricky Purcell.
Ricky
They
Purcell.
yeah. For Pearsall, you still got Kittle.
Yeah. You're eventually going to get CMC back.
Like, here's the thing.
Supposedly.
It goes from Purdy having like the best weapons in the league to having like okay to
Yeah.
mid weapons. Like it's not
Damn
like
near
he's
normal.
void of
weapon.
all talent now.
And they've
Mhm.
still got one of the best
Jamal
defenses in the
Jennings
league.
is probably one of the best number 3 receivers in the league. Turned to now being the number 1, whatever. He's still probably not the worst in the league.
Mhm.
And you still got Kittle, who's a top 5 tight end. Like, I don't want to hear no Brock Purdy like, oh, he got all these no teammates things. Like,
I think Brock,
everybody's
though,
hurt,
in
bro.
that game we were watching with the Chiefs, really was kind of showing, like, he was showing some bad habits. Or some
That
bad
pick in the end
things,
zone
man.
was
He
really, really bad.
He was throwing some balls where I was like, ooh, yeah. Like, this is why when teams were watching him didn't take him earlier in the draft. I mean, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not trying to say that at all. But I'm just saying it worries me because I think he was showing some things where I was like, if you aren't finding your reads right away, I don't know if I can trust Brock to go out there and be like, I'm gonna go and like get this shit done on his own. I don't know. I think it's all Shanahan. I really do.
I think they're gonna be fine, but they're only gonna be fine because the Seahawks can never decide when the Seahawks want to be consistently good or not. If the Seahawks could consistently just put it all together, they could easily run away with this division right now with how it's looking because they're in first right now, and they could really put the Niners in a tough spot. But as long as they get CMC back, and if CMC is coming back like healthy, ready to go, like they're going to be just like they were looking last year because you can plug in whoever you want to plug in at running back for the Niners. Like it's not going to replicate what CMC was doing for you. CMC is the best running back in the league. Like you're missing him. Obviously, Ayuk hurt. That loss hurts, but Ayuk really wasn't doing anything crazy.
Anyway. He had one or two good weeks.
Yeah, up to this point, anyways. And then like the whole Debo thing. I mean, I feel like every year Debo misses about 4 or 5 weeks of the season, anyways. Mm-hmm. So like this is basically that stretch. But knock on wood, if Kittle goes down, then you're like, oh shit. But like, I think they're gonna be fine as of right now. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I see a Kyle fucking Juszczyk like 5 reception, 80-yard game for some reason.
Yep.
But they're probably going to be fine. I just wanted to bring it up because they were the other team going on with like crazy injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can get to was it just always Russ?
I mean, man, I didn't say.
Listen,
I'd say it was a terrible.
It was always Russ
they
passing
never
yards.
Do it. I never said it was stupid. Blah blah blah. All right, did I think it was stupid? Yeah,
I did too. Don't worry.
And I think everybody thought it was stupid at the time, but Tomlin must have known something. He knew it.
So I'm Lone Ranger on this.
This is why none of us are NFL
He said
coaches.
It's me versus the world. It's me and Russ versus the world right now. Fuck.
Us when we like chose Russ to go out in that game, or Fields to go out in that game, and he looks like shit. Damn. You still no ball?
When Russ missed, when Russ started the game 2 for 8, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, what the fuck did we do?
That bubble screen
went into the dirt. I was like, are we?
I was like, oh no.
That was so funny. I laughed out loud when I saw him throw that pass to the dirt.
I was like, we're so
I looked at you, Corey. I was like.
Well, Justin Fields, get your helmet on, man.
I was like, oh no. I mean, Russ started that game out so poorly. Like, it actually scared me.
I expected that. And you got to think this is somebody who's also coming off of an injury. It's not like he was coming in after, like, Justin Fields getting benched. I'll talk about it later in the hot takes, but I think Russell Wilson showed a little bit of rust, played a solid enough game to win. The offense definitely looked a way better throughout just the play action process and everything else like that. Najee, it's weird because Najee will look like shit for the next 3 weeks and then have one game where he like looks dominant like this. So like I'm not going to put any stock into that. But I will say a lot of balls that Russell Wilson threw got bailed out by George Pickens being able to make a tough catch.
Freiermuth one-handed catch.
Yes, like he got bailed out a
lot.
My
top 10 tight end right there.
But I think, as much as I do like Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, if he can consistently look like this, which I didn't think he looked crazy impressive, but I think he can maintain this level of play. I think he gives the Steelers a way higher ceiling than Justin Fields does. With what they do have on this roster, I guess that's kind of my take behind it.
I think. This is my take on Russell versus Justin. The way the offense was run with Justin was for Justin to not make mistakes and not turn the ball over. Yeah. So it was played very safe. It was played very conservatively. It was run the ball, get us to 3rd and short. Justin go make a 5-yard completion on an out route. We'll get the first down. And then when we get into the red zone, Justin, do it yourself. Fuck it. You're the best athlete on the field. Because they just didn't. They know he's young. I don't think they trusted his arm. I think we've all seen Justin make pretty throws before. That's not something, it's not like he can't go and do it. I just think Tomlin was almost scared to let Justin go and actually run the offense. Mm-hmm. And then you come in with Russ, and I think Tomlin is like, he's a vet. He's made He's made these back shoulder. He's made these, Mr. Unlimited, man. Fuck it. Moon ball throws. Like, he's done this his entire career. And Tomlin is like, let's open it up. We know what George Pickens can do. Let's just test it and just say fuck it. And that's what it looked like when we went out there. I mean, George Pickens made a fucking crazy 50-yard fucking catch down the field. He made that back shoulder. He fucking mossed the shit out of that third-string cornerback on the Jets for a touchdown. Freiermuth made a fucking incredible one-hand catch. But it's not like those balls weren't placed well so that they could go and make those plays. And the announcer, I remember, who was it? Collinsworth, I think, was announcing that game. He was like, "Yeah, I just don't think Justin Fields is going to be able to do that." I don't think that Justin Fields couldn't do that. I think the problem is Justin Fields wasn't given the play calls to go and do that because we didn't want him to go and do that. Because if Justin Fields threw a pick, I think it kills Tomlin's confidence. I think it kills the coaching staff's confidence. It kills the team's confidence with him and being like, "Oh, great, he's just going to go make mistakes for us. Now we're screwed." Mm-hmm. So I think we played insanely conservative with him. And then with Russ, we kind of unleashed it a little bit. And it looked good. Don't get me wrong. And I think that this then opens up the door a lot more to let Justin Fields come in on certain packages where we're in the red zone or we're on 3rd and short and we need a yard or we're trying to run, and it adds another dynamic to Justin's rushing ability, but who can also go and throw the ball if we need him to. And we want to run a trick play or something stupid like that. So, did I hate the move originally? Yes, because Justin was winning. Did I eat my words for that? Yes. It is what it is. Our offense finally offensed. I don't know how to put it any other way. So,
yeah, with Fields, you're just like, it's like when you're trotting him out, you're basically playing to not lose. That's really what it is. And now that you have Russ in, you're playing to win. Like, this is how we're going to play in to win. And I think that showed hella against the Jets. I know the Jets' defense is hurt and everything, but I don't like Fields. You're not scared of his arm. You're not going to be scared of his arm. You're just scared of him getting out of the pocket and kind of making a play and doing whatever. With Russ, you can kind of you can hand the ball off, you get the run game going, and then you're dropping back to pass when you guys are down. He can bring you guys back if you need to. So you're really worried about Russ's arm. If Russ wants to roll out and run, he will, but he's not going to do what Fields does.
No.
So it just opens up your guys' offense. I think you're right how I think they dumbed down the offense for Fields just because of his arm and everything. I mean, I don't know. I think Russ definitely gives you guys a better chance to win more games in the future.
Yeah.
Talking about the Jets side, I guess talking about that game in general, just because I've seen a lot of people, obviously the Jets are under the microscope right now just because they're the Jets. They have a lot of going on over there. And there's a lot of, is Aaron Rodgers washed and cooked at this point? But, watching that game, he drilled Garrett Wilson in his chest.
Yep.
And Garrett Wilson didn't catch that ball for that pick. The first one in the middle of the field, that's on Rodgers, right? But that one on the sideline that just hit off Garrett Wilson's chest and didn't go out of bounds, you can't put that on Aaron Rodgers. That was a perfect ball. I'm not going to sit here and say that Aaron Rodgers is washed. They played the Steelers defense hooped. And then, you were doing fine in the first half. And then in the second half, it feels like everything just fell apart, which is how Jets games have usually gone this season. But I think the Steelers are going to be just fine. I think they're going to compete in that division. I still think they have a lot of division games to play, but I think towards the back half, if you're having Russell Wilson give you this level of consistency, which isn't crazy to say, I think they can still compete in the division to win it, honestly. Because, they're right there with the Ravens. And if they can keep on stacking wins, I know they play the Ravens really, really well. They play the division really, really well. They can compete in that division for sure. And they're going to get to the next couple of weeks and be a lock for the playoffs. That's just my kind of mindset on it. But with Fields, I don't think you have that ceiling. But we can kind of pivot and get into our hot takes. Hot takes up to this point in the season, doing something a little bit different than going over the regular slate. Everybody has a handful of hot takes that they can go over. Whoever wants to start can kind of go ahead.
Well, I'll go first off with my one of mine at least because it kind of backpacks off that. My hot take was that the Steelers actually end up winning the North, which you kind of mentioned. So it's not exactly a hot take, but I mean, with how Russ looked, I have it as a hot take in the sense that, our odds to win the division, I think we're third We might have been to start the year. I think we were actually bottom. I think we were like plus 750, and they had the Browns above us to start the year on the books.
Mhm.
And obviously the Ravens are the favorites, but Lamar sucks against us, and he has always sucked against us. So I don't see a way I don't know why we couldn't go and split with them.
I think you guys can take both
I
against the
think we
Browns
can
and maybe split with the
both
Bengals.
against. Yeah, I was gonna say we can sweep the Browns, and Joe Burrow also plays bad against us, so we could probably beat them and possibly sweep them because they look bad. They just look weird. I don't know how to put it any other way. They'll go off for 30 points a game, and then they went up against the Browns and barely beat the Browns. So I don't know. But I had as a hot take to win the North after how we looked, especially if Russ can be consistent. So like we were saying, so that was mine for that one.
I have one. I don't know how hot it is, but I had one that said the Eagles could easily finish with the number 1 seed in the NFC. Now that everything's going down with the 49ers, I think the 49ers are definitely going to take a step back. I'm not saying they're not going to make the playoffs, but I think they'll still take a step back. And with the schedule that I'm looking at for the Eagles, I think there's a lot of winnable games in here. I think they're obviously going to win the division, with the Cowboys being terrible and the Commanders will be right behind them. Not even going to talk about the Giants. But I think there's a lot of wins in there for them to be able to get up there. You're only, really worried about the Vikings or the Lions from the NFC kind of stacking up all those wins. But
And they're
with
going to
the
beat up
Lions
on
and
each
Vikings
other.
beating up on each other, I think the Eagles are in prime form to actually get the bye and go into the playoffs with that as the first seed. So I don't know how hot it is, but I think that's definitely a possibility.
The only team I think could have a clear runway to really like challenge with how that South is looking, like if the Bucks turn into like being really bad, then you're looking at the Falcons as like they can just rack up wins in that division, and all of a sudden they're a double-digit win team going down the stretch because of how bad the division did end up getting. So I think the Falcons, like on the backside of that take, like low key could be one of those teams that like sneaks into that race just because of how bad the division has turned out to be. Which a couple weeks ago we were saying it was like one of the most underrated divisions. I mean, they have a tough Saints are tough and the Bucks are tough, but now it's looking like the Falcons are legit the only healthy team in that division. So
the
they could
Panthers
just rack up
lost
a
by
bunch
40.
and the Falcons can just run up a bunch of wins in that division just on its own, which could end up happening. That's the only thing I could say about that on the back end of that.
I have one. It says Jerry Jones will give up some leadership at the end of the year.
Wait, give up what? Give up what?
He'll give up some leadership at the end of the year. Step
yeah,
down.
right.
That's a good one.
Is that hot? Like
That's pretty fucking hot.
I think he's gonna be
hot.
sick of it. I think the Cowboys are just gonna be going through chaos the rest of the year. I think we're gonna continue to drop important games, and just he's gonna keep getting these questions that he hates getting asked, and like I don't know if he's gonna like say a slur or like get somebody fired. Something's gonna happen that's gonna send him over the top. And like
That's
I think Jerry's just gonna be like done with it. I think he might just be like, you know what, maybe I do have to step out of the public eye. If this year's just bad enough, because like it just feels like, to me at least, I don't know if this feels this way to you guys, but it just feels like the Cowboys' pressure just like seemingly just goes up and up no matter what. Like you can just have like the team can be looking bad. Like I said at the beginning of the year that this roster isn't as good as what we've had in the past. Like I didn't really expect much this year, but like it feels like we got more pressure on us this year than last year. So I don't know, but I just think the course is just gonna, it's just gonna run its course, and I think he's gonna end up getting sick of it this year.
I think the window just closed after last year. I mean, everything has a Cowboys fans wanted happened last year. They got home field. They won the division. That was always the big thing. The Cowboys were so stout at home. It was, if the Cowboys can win the division, they can go on a run. And then losing to the Packers like y'all did, I just feel like you look at the core of this team differently, to where like I think everybody on that team kind of knew that last year was their year to do anything. And I feel like everybody on that team after losing to Green Bay knew that window closed for them. And now this is kind of just a random sub middle of the pack team that's kind of realizing that the window's over with for this current core. And that's kind of what I feel like is happening. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. I feel like all the stuff, like Micah is kind of just like, I'm just focused on my bag now.
He's a podcaster
yeah,
now.
like
he plays football on the side.
Yeah, like he's a media personnel now.
I can't believe it.
And like Dak's like, oh fuck, well I'm paid, so it don't matter. So
CD and Dak are married and they hate each other.
They fucking hate each other.
Ezekiel Elliott is $3 million cheaper than Derrick Henry, the league MVP.
Did you see what he said?
He's gonna win the MVP, and Jerry's gonna be like, "Well, we just couldn't afford the MVP."
That dude was really like, he really tried to like cover his own ass. He's like, he wouldn't do that with us. How do you know? How
you don't run the ball like they do.
Like now you're just shitting on like your team. Like, what is this guy like? Like every time Jerry Jones talks, it just makes him look worse. Like I don't know what he's trying to say. Like, yeah, let's just not sign Derrick Henry for $3 more million. Like, Hall of Famer Derrick Henry. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I know you're paying Dak and you have to pay Mike and you pay CD. Who else is making any kind of relative tape to make it seem like you can't bring in Derrick Henry on this team? Somebody's getting cut.
I'm like, Zach Martin's making money, but like, I don't know.
If Derrick
Henry, Lawrence is making money,
if he wants to come there, somebody taking a pay cut. You're telling me Dak ain't taking a couple more $1 million off the top to bring in Derrick Henry?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Maybe he not. Maybe he not. Maybe he not. Maybe he not. Maybe he not.
I'm just trying to. So,
like,
did you guys just resign Bland too? So who are your guys you need to resign? Parsons, Bland. You fucking signed Diggs to a bag. Fucking CD to a bag. Dak to a bag.
It's like just Micah, honestly. Now,
because
everyone else is pretty much signed.
Oh, Bland is signed.
I don't know about Bland. Maybe not. But
hold on.
I think of him as like a.
So
we already have
a 4-year. Oh, you have Bland on the low. You have Bland. He signed a 4-year deal for $4 million in 2022.
Oh, that's fire. If you get it for 2 more years.
You're telling me you couldn't go sign Jerry? Cheap ass, bro. What the fuck are we talking about? Oh my god, his bum ass. My fault. I thought Bland needed to get re-signed, and maybe you were trying to because Bland has been one of the top corners in the league when he was healthy. So I was like, okay, so I mean, I get it. If you have to re-sign like Parsons and Bland coming up, you just re-signed Dak and CD. Like, okay, you got a lot of money, you got to start moving. I get it. Fuck that. Tell CD and Dak chill out, man. Tell CD and Dak we bringing in the best running back in the fucking league just for y'all to get us to the playoffs and get us to a Super Bowl. They'd be fine with it. No, let's go pay Dak and see. Let's overpay for Dak, bro. Like Dak's good, but fuck, I don't know.
I have a couple. One of them is kind of like irrelevant to like legit like what we've heard this morning before the pod. One of them was like, if the Rams were to lose to the Vikings on Thursday, I think they go into full sell mode, which is kind of seeming like that's the direction they're going in anyway. So that was kind of just off the table now. I guess we can kind of go back into I guess it's like 2 teams in one. One of them is the Steelers are a wide receiver move away from really, really competing in the AFC. And I kind of feel that same way about the Chargers in a sense, because those are 2 really, really good defenses that just need the offenses to be somewhat consistent. And from what I saw last night, the Chargers obviously need to be in the market for a receiver, at least going and getting somebody. I'm not saying
drafted one.
But like, I'm not saying the Joe Alt pick is bad because
no,
obviously.
I'm not either. But like,
oh no, I know what you're saying. I get what you're coming at.
Even
but
Brock
like,
Bowers. Oh my God, Will Dissly, 17 targets. Could have been Brock Bowers. Probably would have gotten the end zone if it was Brock Bowers. But no, they couldn't even get in the end zone against Cardinals defense.
So they're wide receiver away, but this take is more so pinpointed for the Steelers.
Disgusting.
Because I think the Steelers should look to go get another guy.
Don't let us get cut, bro.
See, like I just don't think that is the move that gets made. If anything, it's going to be somebody they can get probably for a lot cheaper.
Well, the Rams said they're willing to take on Cup's contract, and they just want a second-round pick.
Yeah, they said they want to get rid of.
If they're willing to
a second-round pick.
Yeah, if they're willing to take on his salary and just
that
a
makes
second-round pick,
that makes him an insane. Yeah, that makes him an insane. But I think there's more desperate teams that might give up just a little bit more.
They're going to throw the house at Cup. There's teams that'll throw the house at Cup, 100%.
Got to go to the Patriots.
What?
I think like
What?
you guys are in the market for somebody like Sutton.
I'm down. He was supposed to come to us at the start of the year. We were trying forever to try to get him at the start of the year. And they just did.
Sutton ain't moving the needle.
You don't think? I don't know who moves the needle for them that they can go get on the
Sutton,
low.
Van Jefferson.
That's
Like,
Like,
let's not do that. Okay,
hey,
calm
Van
down.
Jefferson scored.
What?
He scored.
We're not
He
saying Van
scored.
Jefferson's
He
like
scored.
that.
like it.
I mean,
Not gonna do
I-
that.
Portland Sutton didn't catch a ball on Thursday.
He didn't get thrown the ball.
Fucking Super Bowl champion Van Jefferson.
You have to. Okay,
I don't
calm
know.
down. Odell Beckham won the MVP. Let's not act like he had fucking.
Just go get
bums around
Deontay
him.
Like-
Johnson back.
No, I mean,
Go
shit,
get
maybe.
Deontay Johnson back.
Low
I guess,
key.
I guess, dude. I guess. Oh,
But
man.
I'll clean up the take. The Steelers are a wide receiver move away from me really taking them serious in the AFC. If they can add one more
There you
weapon
go.
on the Apple side, I think I can really start to buy into this belief that the Steelers can make a run. But they're not making any kind of run with Freiermuth as your 2 in the receiver
What?
game and George Pickens making different contested catches over top corners in the league every
Oh.
game.
This dude Freiermuth is the tight end too. After fucking the basketball star, 6'9".
Is he actually?
280.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Really
Darnell
athletic.
Washington is
yeah.
his wide receiver is
Listen.
tight end to
Darnell
one right
No,
now.
Washington's a fucking
He's a beast.
dog.
I'm scared
got-
of him.
Even though
Like,
every pass is a
he's-
yard after the fucking line of scrimmage.
Will said during the game, he was like, "We need somebody at right tackle. Or you're playing tight end."
Yeah, like, move
Yeah.
over.
No,
Might as
bro.
well line
When
up
Darnell
there.
Washington lines up next to Broderick Jones, and I'm like, how are we not? How is Russell Wilson in any trouble back there against his right side? Like, Broderick Jones is 6'7", and Darnell Washington is 6'9". If you both just touch the right end, he might die. Like, just
Give him
go
a
and
little
block him
chip.
for a
Just give
second,
him a little
please.
chip.
Like, hello? I don't know. It's so funny watching that team.
I can get into. I have like 2 more really solid ones.
All right, you go.
I'll go if you. I'm about to name some teams. If you are one of these teams, and you're not pushing to go all in this year, I think you're doing a disservice of yourself. Packers, Vikings, Seahawks, Falcons. I did have the Bucks in here, but I feel like the Bucks are kind of just fell
Now
apart.
you're done.
Yeah, now you're done. Commanders maybe, and the Bears maybe. I need to see the Bears pick up a really, really good win. In terms of like the teams that I really think could go all in is the Vikings, Packers, and Seahawks.
I was
Because
gonna
of
say, I don't think we're gonna go all in, brother.
No, I'm just saying like this season, I don't think the door for those teams that have all kind of been middle of the pack teams kind of in this NFC push so far this year, other than the Vikings obviously almost being undefeated up to this point. Like the window is never going to be this wide open in the NFC. It is never going, like, we're looking at the Lions as the best team in the NFC right now, but I don't consider the Lions to be world beater of a team like the Niners have been for the past couple of seasons. I think the Eagles have a bunch of talent, but are they ever going to put it all together? Who knows? So, like, if I'm the Packers and the Vikings for sure, I know I can compete with the Lions. And we're already talking about how the Vikings could be possibly making moves as well. I know the Packers could also make some moves to clean up their roster as well. Like, and the Seahawks have a chance to realistically win the division with the Niners injuries. So, like, all 3 of those main teams, I feel like are on a clear path to, like, really making a run in the playoffs this year. I guess that's kind of my take, especially with the deadline in 2 weeks from today. Like, the Vikings, Packers, and Seahawks, those 3 teams need to be very aggressive and make the right moves because those 3 teams, I feel like, can really make a run in the playoffs this year.
Well, I'll piggyback off that a little because one of my hot takes was that the Packers will be the number 1 seed in the North or in the NFC. So I totally agree with that. I mean, don't get me wrong, the NFC North is super, super competitive right now and tough, but with how that Packers defense looked against one of the top offenses in the Texans, and I know their run defense was fucking piss poor, so they've got to work on that. But that offense has been putting up points, and Jordan Love looks like he's the real deal. And their young receivers are actually starting to kind of figure out how to, catch a football like they should. And I just don't see a way. Like that Lions defense we've said all year has been a liability for them. That Vikings, your Vikings defense showed some lackluster stuff and gave up that win against the Lions. I mean, they're the reason that you guys lost.
Oh yeah.
And so if the Packers can clean up the run defense a little bit and keep that pass rush up, I don't see why they couldn't go and either split or sweep one of the two in the Lions and the Vikings. And I mean, their schedule isn't crazy. I mean, I think they play the 49ers, but they're beat up. And other than that, it looked pretty. I'll go look at it real quick. But that was why I was like, okay, the Packers could easily steal that number 1 seed away. Like they play, and I'm not saying the Bears aren't tough either with their defense. But I just think that, I don't know, the Packers just always play the Bears well, it feels like, for some reason. So that I could see them sweeping. They play the Dolphins, the Seahawks, the Saints outside of the division now coming up, and the Jaguars. I have no reason why they couldn't win all of those. And they're already 5-2. So, I mean, maybe they drop a couple more, but I don't see why they couldn't go 12-5, 13-4 the rest of the way. So that was kind of where I was at.
It's more so just me looking at the NFC. It's like, you got to capitalize on that window. Like, even the Commanders, like, knowing what you have in Jane Daniels right now, I know you're still, like, a kind of whatever team on both sides of the ball. But, like, even going to make a smaller move, maybe add something to the offense or maybe add a piece defensively because you have so much cap space just to, like, see what you can do, because the Commanders are in a good spot to, like, actually win the division. Like, they can compete with the Cowboys and Eagles for sure. Like, the Seahawks as well, they can really win the division, and the Vikings and Packers still can win the division, and they can definitely compete with Detroit. Like, I just think for those kind of teams, like, you have to capitalize on the window that is brought to you, because we see how injuries can derail a season so far this year. The Saints season is over. The Bucs season looks like it's over. The Niners season, there should be fine, but they lose 2 more games. I'm looking at this Niners season differently. Like, I think with how injuries happen in the NFL, when you're a healthy team and you're kind of a foot ahead of everybody else in your conference, I feel like you got to take advantage of it. And I think the Vikings, Packers, and Seahawks are all in prime positions to take advantage of what circumstances they're given. But that's just kind of my take.
I'm just interested. Like, I just don't know how many moves are really viable at this point in time. Like, the free agency market's done.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be nobody out there. Like, trade market, like, yes, but like, there's only so many guys that are out there that are gonna be a good
Needle
rental
movers.
piece that are a needle mover. Don't affect you in the long term. I'd say are like the 2 biggest things. Like, these guys, they don't want guys that are going to potentially be here for like whatever 3-4 years with big contracts. Like, you only really want to trade for a guy that you're going to have for a rental or next year on a smaller contract, considering all these teams that you talked about are younger and on the come up and probably either have a lot of money or are strapped for money.
That's why I kind of focus more on at least the Packers and Vikings, because when you look at the Vikings, they are kind of already positioned into this all-in move. They still have their first for the next 2 years. They have a top 5 most available cap space going into the summer. Your future is a rookie quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, so you're on quarterback timing now, basically after the season. Sam Darnold's not making any real money, so like, you have all the flexibility in the world to go be aggressive. And the Packers team everybody on that team is super, super young. Like, you just extended Jordan Love, but like, you still have money to work with on that roster. So like, they have flexibility. Those are the 2 teams that have the most flexibility, and it could be very dangerous for the NFC depending on what kind of stuff does happen, if anything does happen at all. But they're in the positions to where like, they can really contend already, but if they can go add some pieces on top, it would definitely help them. Because I don't view Detroit as like the Niners of the past couple of years, if that makes sense.
Right.
I don't think they're in that echelon or tier just yet. Because the Niners past couple of years, it's like, oh shit, well, you're playing the Niners. That's just a loss. Detroit has holes that you can exploit.
Now Detroit doesn't have J-Mo.
I think the biggest issue for that is kind of going off what Nick said, is like, those teams. I think the moves that will move the needle are going to be superstar players that you're trading for, and that's the real question: is who's even going to be on the market that does that? Like, are the Raiders willing to talk about Max Crosby moving? Because
I've heard no.
Yeah, and if that's a complete no, like, I think the biggest issue for a lot of these teams is defensive side of the ball. And it's like, okay, so Myles Garrett, Max Crosby makes differences. The Cowboys ain't moving Micah Parsons, even though he's on a fucking contract deal. That'd be the only reason they would even think about it as a rookie deal, but they don't. There's no reason for them to think about that now because they didn't go and sign someone like Derrick Henry. I'm just like, it'd be superstar players, and I don't know how many teams even have that line open for that now.
The only thing, and just kind of being on Vikings like socials and everything else, the only thing that I've seen pick up real traction is that it's been more than just a theory now, is the Vikings trading for Dexter Lawrence and giving up their 2 firsts for the next 2 years. And that would help us out a ton and just stopping the run in general.
Oh, the Giants would be so
Sexy
stupid to move
Dexy.
Sexy Dexy, though. That'd be such a bad move for them.
He's like
But-
one of the
Where
best
they're at.
defensive players in the league.
He's probably the best defensive
I think
tackle
the
in the league
Giants
right now.
moving anybody on their defense is a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, I could see them doing it because I don't know if they think. I mean, they might compete for that division still, though. That's the thing. Like, the Eagles look rough. I don't.
If you would be in the position to, because there's still so much work to be done with the offense. I know the defense is solid, but if you can net 2 first-round picks plus possibly something else for him, and now you're going into next year's draft with 2 first-round picks to add a quarterback and something else in the first round, and then you have another 2 first-round picks in the next year's draft, then your rebuild's looking a lot better. I will say they're probably on the right track anyways, but I'm just saying you could add stuff over the top, even though he is one of the best defensive players in the league. That's the only thing I've seen in terms of just trade talks with the Vikings that has like picked up any kind of whatever traction. That's the only trade I like personally I've like genuinely seen be in traction.
Now that
for
the
trade
Jets
talks.
are kind of in a weird spot, you know who I could see getting a phone call about is Quinnen Williams. That I wouldn't hate as a move. Or his brother.
Like, there's no way they move on
But
from anybody.
They
in the next 2
wouldn't move
weeks.
him, but
No, not in the next 2 weeks.
they're, that Jets team is kind of trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah,
And I don't know if they're
no
trying to
chance.
figure out for the future. They're not going to be, but that's not a person. That's a person I could see getting a call
Mhm.
about.
Nick, you can get into what you had next.
Oh, I said Daniel Jones will play his last game for the Giants on Monday night.
This
Against my
Monday?
Steelers?
Yep.
Yup. He's going to
So-
throw 3 picks, baby.
Daniel Jones is like
What?
one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league this year, and he has the same injury contract thing that Russ had last year.
Does he really?
That's
Wait, what
interesting.
is that? I don't even remember.
So if he gets injured, like they are
They
basically
don't
his
have much
contract
money.
goes like fully guaranteed or something
Yeah.
like that.
Oh,
So like, and he got, I don't know if y'all watched that game, but
Oh,
Daniel Jones was
killed
getting
against the Eagles.
fucking demolished by the Eagles.
oh.
And I think I think if you guys are getting killed, if they're getting killed by the Steelers, like there's a chance they just go Drew Lock and like, because they don't want to spend that money. Like I think they're finally getting close to getting either off that deal or like moving on. Like they're building a good defensive line. You got Neighbors, you got Wanda, you got some good pieces. I don't think they have any interest in like keeping him long term anymore. I
No.
think they're done with Daniel Jones, and I think they're just going to be fine with like doing the same thing that Russ did. Considering again the Broncos are coming off well doing it.
They're truly in a quarterback away situation for what they do have building on that team already.
Yeah.
I could definitely see it because everybody thought it was a little bit weird, but when you see all the money that fully guaranteed money brings, like, yeah, it's probably best to just not play him. And then it's interesting because I don't know what is next for Daniel Jones after this year.
Fight with like somebody for a job. I don't know. Fight with Jameis in
Oh my God.
Las Vegas.
Oh my god, Vegas just
Somewhere
go draft
bad.
somebody.
Fight with Jameis somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, I think that it sucks because again, like the Giant, I don't even like think Daniel Jones is like shit. Like he hasn't even looked that bad this year.
No,
But like,
it
I
didn't
just
help that
don't
you lost
think-
Neighbors for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I
It's
just
when
don't think he's the
bad,
future.
He's like really bad.
Yes,
Mm.
when he
Like,
does
he's
look
not
bad,
just like he's not just like bad. Like he's terrible. Like the
Yeah.
plays that he messes up.
and it's
But then
like,
when he's on, hey, he's dangerous.
and he's
You don't
so
think it's a
bad
little
under
too
pressure.
early though?
Oh, it probably like it might. I don't think so.
God,
Well,
when did
okay,
Russ
we can't
get-
say a little too early. He's been
Halfway
on
through
his
the
second
season?
contract.
I say we're halfway
No.
through the season.
No, I was talking about too early in the season to like just completely take him out. Like, cause Russ, it was back half the year, right? It was only like 3-4 games
Ooh,
left for
when's-
Russ.
Are they one or two wins?
2, I think.
Giants?
I think they're 2 and 5.
I think they have
2-5. Like if you're getting shit on in this game and you're about to go down to 2-6,
Oh yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but
it's Monday night.
yeah, no, I get
Rest
what
of
you're
the
saying.
NFC's already
They're
won.
2 and 5. Oh my god, we're 7-point favorites. What the fuck?
So like,
That's too much. For
I haven't seen the Steelers
Giants
7-point
cover.
favorites in
I think
so
it also, like,
long.
depends on what it looks like. Like if he's getting again like destroyed We get seeing TJ Watt 2 sacks, and he's getting fucking manhandled out there. Like, why keep him out there?
When we see second half, Drew Lock in at quarterback for Daniel Jones, I'm going to be in fucking
And then
awe. I mean,
Drew
shocked.
Lock looks okay,
Oh, God.
looks mobile,
Oh,
and then he's there for the rest of the year.
Drew Lock's always going to have that game against Philly last year.
no.
He's
Uh-huh.
always going to have that game against Philly
Yes, he
last
will.
year.
Oh.
What a
That's
game.
insane.
Connor, did you have any?
I had a trade one. It was just the Bears trade for Max Crosby. And do I think that's going to happen? Probably not, but I think it could be. Or maybe if not Max Crosby, another end, maybe another D-tackle or somewhere in that area. I think that's the only thing we need. I think getting Darryl Taylor was good, but if you have someone like a Garrett or a Crosby on the board to go get, like, I think you could at least make a call and try to figure it out if they want to blow it up or not. Because if you could go with Sweat and like Crosby, then the D-line just gets insanely better. Like it just, our defense just somehow gets better. Like, but that's really it.
Another name you guys could, it'd be crazy because it would basically be like him.
Supposedly the Jags are shopping Trevon Walker already, and their asking price is a 4th round pick.
For
The Jags
number
are?
one. Insane.
Are we
that's what I just
serious?
got on
For
Twitter.
the number 1 overall pick.
So I guess
Wow.
the Bears have been in talks with them as well.
Low key, Trevon Walker to the Bears would be scary, bro. I like Trevon Walker. I think he's just taking a little bit longer than they want him to.
Mm-hmm.
The another name I was gonna say for you guys is like somebody like Chase Young, because I'm pretty sure he's on a 1 year.
He's on a prove it deal with
Yeah.
the Saints or with
so
the
like
the
with the Saints. So like the Saints probably would actually like to take some draft compensation for him because he's probably not going to be back.
That is because the Saints traded for him from the Commanders, and they already. I'm gonna guess that halfway through the season they already don't want to just get rid of him.
No, he was with the Niners last year.
Yeah,
They signed him out of free agency.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was.
Oh my God, he was with the Niners.
Yeah. They signed him to a 1 year prove it deal.
Yeah, it was a 1 year.
Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, they were. I forgot that's when they were blowing it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just a deal that makes sense that just won't happen. Though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the Saints are going to look at this and be like, yeah, no, I'm not going to send anybody away. Like,
No,
let's
I
just
really
keep
look where our
everyone.
defense is at.
Let's just keep everyone. Okay.
God, our division. God, why can't our division like? I also said something wicked. I guess I didn't put it down in my hot takes.
Bro, it's literally your guys' fault. Like, you guys are not supposed to be 5-1.
I know.
Like,
I know. I said that if you left the Lions in the north and you put the Bears in the south and you put the Packers and Vikings in the other 2 divisions, either one, I think all 4 of those teams would win those divisions.
we could win the South.
If you get what I'm saying, if you get what I'm trying to say. I said when we were watching the game the other day, didn't really think too much of it. But I think if you put any 4 of the teams in the north and the other ones except the Lions, I think they all win those divisions.
I completely disagree.
Why do you say except the Lions?
Because if you just left the Lions in ours,
Are you changing the schedules with that?
I mean,
yeah, division game.
yeah,
Then maybe, because like then you're going
Yeah.
to like shit other divisions.
Yeah,
but like,
that's why I said I think the Bears could win the South.
like the Bears could probably just win the South with like the other teams that they play.
You're only really worried if we were talking like right now. Like, you're really only worried about the Falcons, and I think we could beat the Falcons.
I don't know about that. I think they could all compete, but like I think that's just a weird take. Just come out and say I don't know.
yeah. I
That's just a
said it
weird
during I said it during the game, and I like kind of like just put some like real thought behind it.
But on the record, I disagree.
So like, if you put the Packers in the East, like they could
That'd be
win.
so tough. That'd be so tough.
And if you put the Vikings in the West,
Some weird.
I
ass
don't
games,
know.
I'll tell you
I
that.
don't know. But I only had one more. Was I think the Bengals will run the table and be 7-4 going into their Week 12 bye.
Completely disagree.
Well,
That's hot. That's damn
don't
hot.
they have a bunch of like shit opponents coming up?
Yeah.
So
I think
I have their
Good thing
next
their whole team
4.
is shit.
I have their next 4, and looking at it, I think they bare minimum go 3-4 in this. They went 3 out of 4.
3-1.
Yeah,
What
I
are
think
they
they
right
went 3
now?
They're
3 and 4
They're
and
3
3.
and 4 right now.
Oh, 3
Mhm.
okay.
So you have the Eagles, which I think is a very winnable game. You have the Eagles at home. You have the Raiders at home. You go to Baltimore, which you probably should have won the first one. You could say that would be the loss out of this stretch.
I think they're gonna lose to the Eagles.
And then you play the Chargers.
They could lose that one too.
And then you get bye, and then Steelers.
You tell me they're running the table?
Yes, I think they're gonna.
Damn,
That's a hot
that's
take.
hot. That's hot as hell.
I think they will be either 7-4 or 6-5 after they're going into the bye.
They could very well be 6-5.
They could be 6-5.
I
But
think
that
they could go
Eagles and
7-4,
Chargers
but-
game is going to be.
I'd be very surprised if they swept the next 4, but like I don't think they're incapable of doing
If
that.
they-
Their
if they
defense is starting
win-
to look a little better.
If they win the next 4, this will be a 6-game win streak going into the bye. I think they go 3-1 over these next 4.
I'm just over the Bengals, bro. Like
Sam,
I'm
I'm over
sick of
this
the
hype.
Bengals. No more Bengals hype. I'm over it.
Not till they prove something, bro.
I
They
think
need to
I
prove
saw
something.
I saw an edit of Bron and Steph on Team USA. They were like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase once the leaves turn yellow and orange.
It's kind of funny.
I also think the Bengals are like insanely good in like November and December.
That's fair,
Why
but
are
they
the
got to
Bengals
have a
not
good
good
record for that.
12 months out of the year.
Bro, I don't
Like-
know. I was calling for Zach Taylor's job when they fucking lost to the Patriots already.
But
So
no, they want to sit here and look like shit against the Giants, and then look like shit against the fucking whoever else they played. There was another bad team they
The
beat.
Patriots.
Browns.
They
They
lost
beat
to
the
the
Browns.
Patriots.
And
no,
the
they beat the
Browns.
Browns. They beat
Yeah,
the
and they
Browns.
look bad
Yeah, they
against
didn't
the
even look good
Browns.
against the Browns.
Hell
Browns
no.
defense wins a win.
When's a win?
No.
Wins a win.
Push up.
Wins a win. I'm more confident
Okay.
in that offense looking better. But
I mean,
if
at
the
least
defense
Bears
is
putting up like 38 on these bad teams, like Bengals ain't even doing that.
like Bears also don't have a real win on their schedule.
So
A win's a win. A win is a
I
win.
know.
win's a win.
That's what I'm saying. A win's a win. A win's a
Win is a
win.
win.
But like you gotta think that like our wins are like dominant. Like we're beating bad teams by 20 plus. Like the Bengals aren't doing that. The Bengals are playing a bad Giants team and only beating them by which should have been only 3 points because he scored that stupid touchdown at the like with a minute left. And then what did they beat the Browns by? 14?
The Giants
11.
also could have tied
11.
that game and didn't. The Giants could have gotten a field. They went for that fourth down. I think that game changes.
The only bad team we actually looked bad against is the Titans. And that was week 1. Week 1 of the year we looked terrible.
They beat the Browns by 11 and returned the opening kickoff. So like,
I don't know. It was all I know is I was looking at that game. It was 7-0 for about 3 quarters. Like I don't know what was going on.
the
But
thing is
I'm
they
just-
could, like, the thing
I'm
is they
over the
could
Bengals.
win these 4 games.
Good.
That defense is just so mid.
Oh, it's so bad. It's not
Like,
even
if you
bad.
were-
It's just
like if you
bad.
were like, all right, Bengals and Jaguars, they play each other this week. You know, I don't even know if the Bengals dropped 20 points. I don't even know. I really couldn't tell you if they dropped
Against
20
the
points
Jags?
against the Jaguars. I
Well,
don't know.
looking at the Bears schedule right now,
Oh,
Played
you said
played the Texans. You lost that one. We're not even gonna think
that was
about that
bound
one.
to
That's
happen.
whatever. How bad Anthony Richardson has looked this year. You lose to them.
What was the score though?
21-16.
I lost by 5.
The Cooper Cup, Puka Nacua less Rams. You beat them. You beat the Panthers.
Yeah.
You beat the Jags, who have looked like shit all year. In London, I'll give it to you.
Jags just won last week.
Y'all beat the Packers in Chicago. We talk real ball about y'all then.
We're gonna beat you guys.
We'll probably split with y'all.
Yeah.
But if
that
y'all,
that Monday
what
night
real
game,
win
we're
do
in
y'all
that ass.
have?
Just
Y'all
know
don't
that,
have a real win.
bro. That Monday night game, we're in your ass. Just
Yeah,
know
but
that.
you don't have a real win. And then, I'm gonna have to hear about Bears fans after y'all beat Marcus Mariota and the Commanders.
Wait, who are the Bears lost to?
The Colts and the Texans.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I want y'all to be legit, but y'all ain't got no real dubs
I don't know, y'all can't even beat the Lions. We beat up on the Lions.
last
Like-
season.
Like it's what we do. We just beat the Lions. Eat,
Last
sleep, beat the
season.
Lions.
Like y'all really lost that game.
Walked
Yeah.
off on.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold looked like shit.
Like Aaron Jones was open on the left.
Probably
He was open in the flat. He was open.
He's
Aaron
on
Jones
the
takes
left.
that to another 10.
But no, we got to throw into double coverage. Interception.
Underthrown into Jordan Addison.
What a catch, though.
It'll be like those are the picks from Sam Darnold where I'm just like, yeah, bro, wide open in the flat. Like, you have bro wide open over here. Why are we throwing to Jordan Addison in triple coverage? Those are the only picks where I'm looking at Sam Darnold. I'm like, what are we doing?
Hey,
Like, what are we doing?
When the Bears and the Colts play, it's bad ball when it's 21-16. But then when the Chiefs and the 49ers do 22-14, it's great defense. Defensive masterclass. Like, all right. Whatever, man.
It was, though.
Whatever, man. Whatever, man.
Oh my god.
I still got a couple hot takes.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck you, Nick. I hate you, dude. Okay, so one of mine is that Tank Bigsby is a top 10 running back this year. Right now. And that he should overtake ETN.
Lost the plot.
And he should that's dead ass. He should overtake ETN as the starting running back.
Now I agree with that.
He's averaging the most yards per carry in the league. ETN has looked like shit. Every single game that he has played he has outshone ETN, and he should take the number one spot.
ETN's going to get moved.
And I don't know
right now.
Who am I putting over Tank Bigsby, like, for 10 running backs?
Chuba.
I mean, everybody's beat up,
look it up?
so.
Chuba.
Chuba's not better.
You talking fantasy-wise? Chuba look good in
Two
fantasy.
homeless dudes calling each other bro. What are we talking about?
Chuba look
Who's
Chill
gonna
out,
look better?
chill out.
Who's gonna look better on their new team in 2 weeks? ETN or Rashad White?
Like
Probably
ooh.
ETN.
No, okay, top 10 was crazy. Okay, fine. But he should be the number one in
You
Jacksonville.
should. There you go.
Okay, let me rephrase that. He should 100% be the number one in Jacksonville. And then we don't even need to talk about my other one. It's fine. That one's wild as hell too.
What was it?
Now you have to stay.
I have that the Chiefs fall off and the fucking Broncos are competing for the number one spot in the West. Or the Chargers.
Thank
The
you guys
Broncos
for
are the
listening to the Barrel Talk podcast. What are we?
You guys said hot. I mean, you said hot takes. These are hot as hell.
Oh, just because they hot don't mean they good.
Chiefs are 6. Chiefs are
6
6
and
0.
But Patrick. Okay,
what is
but
going on?
Mahomes looks like.
Oh, we're back. We're back.
Mahomes looks like shit. They don't have a
Oh.
receiver other than Xavier Worthy who can't run a route. He just runs far.
He just runs straight.
All they've got is the run game. So they're very
That's all I need.
one-dimensional. So you stack the box just like their defense does. And you make
Make
Juju
Patrick
Smith
Mahomes
beat you?
the best quarterback
You
in the
make
league.
Juju Smith beat you?
Yeah.
No, like,
I mean, I'm just saying. I think that the Chiefs are gonna fall off for the Chiefs standards. For Chiefs standards.
What do you mean by that?
For Chiefs
Like,
standards.
so
How many
6 and 0.
losses?
Say they lose
So
3
let me
games
go
on the
look
year.
at their let me go
No.
look at their schedule. Let me go look at their schedule.
Mike Evans out until the bye.
Where
See,
are
like,
they?
you
Are they
had
on?
me. If you
I'm
would
not
have said the
shut there.
Chargers, if you said the Chargers,
Hold on. I said the Chargers or the Broncos.
then me and Nick might.
Okay, but how much better are the Chargers than the fucking
Big Broncos guy
Not
over here.
much.
Why are we losing that game? Big Chargers guy. How are we losing that game?
Okay,
I
so
just
the
can't
Chiefs.
believe it.
The Chiefs go play. Dude, okay, the Chiefs' schedule is so. Never mind. The Chiefs. How are the Chiefs? Chiefs won the Super Bowl and their schedule's cake.
It's the AFC, man.
Man, they suck the Chiefs off, bro. Okay, so they go. Never mind. Like
They've
it would have been
already played the
tougher if
Niners,
these teams
Ravens,
weren't
and
hurt.
Bengals.
But then they play the Raiders. They play the beat up Bucks. They play the Broncos. They play the Bills. Then they go play the Panthers. Raiders again, obviously.
Whoever
Chargers,
scheduled
Browns,
Panthers Chiefs season's
Browns
fucked up.
suck. Never mind. This take, I throw it out the window. Take
Kill
that
it.
out the window. I didn't even destroy it. I didn't even see their schedule. How the fuck do they have the Panthers, bro?
Burn that take.
What are we talking about? Best team in the league, and you go play
They
the
were like,
Panthers.
you know what? We're gonna give the Chiefs the whole South.
Like, what are we
Good
doing?
idea.
Make them play the North. Damn.
Hey, they don't want that.
Make them go play the
So-
NFC North.
think
Then we
they
can
beat
talk
us by
about that take.
45
That take's
last
dead, though. Never
We
mind.
can get into week 8 pick'ems, and then we can get into our power rankings wrap of the episode. So, week 8, Thursday night.
I told y'all last week the Packers were gonna beat the Texans.
So did I. So did I.
I told you.
I said I'm just gonna keep picking them until they lose.
I said they're just gonna.
I think we
win.
were all on the Packers.
Bullshit. That you weren't.
I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure Corey, you took the Texans. Not gonna lie, but
Pick'ems, I definitely took Packers and Lambeau, though.
On the pod, you picked the Texans.
Oh,
I
Type
didn't know
shit.
that.
that's all that matters on the pod.
So-
well, pick'ems, I'm on a wicked run trying to get into the top 2 right now. Thursday night, Vikings at Rams.
Rams.
Vikings.
Guess I'll take the Vikings. I guess.
But Vikings. It's seeming like Cooper Kupp's like not gonna play, but I don't.
It's the
He
Rams.
he fully
Rams at
participated
home. We got it.
today and
Sam
yesterday.
Darnold fall off game.
Man, we're just gonna win. We're gonna beat the Rams.
Tutu Atwell.
Right.
Year three.
Tutu Atwell legacy game.
Legacy game.
Packers at Jags.
Jesus Christ, dude! Who scheduled this game? Packers.
Packers.
Packers. Arizona at Dolphins. Tua comes back this game.
Arizona
Now we got
still.
real ball. Right here. This is man.
Mm.
This is Dolphins, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It shouldn't be, but it is.
It isn't. It's the
Dolphins.
Give me the Dolphins.
Tyreek
Nah,
Hill
give me the
might get a
Cardinals.
reception.
Game of the week: Jets at Patriots.
Yep, Jets.
Jets.
Give me the Patriots.
I hate the Jets.
Jets. Ravens at Browns.
The goddamn Jets.
Ravens.
Ravens.
Ugly
Give me the
ass.
Browns.
Stop.
Ugly
stop.
Give me
win.
the
I'm gonna
Browns.
say ugly win for the Ravens.
Ugly win, but the Ravens win.
Yeah, ugly win.
Nope.
Eagles at Bengals.
Eagles.
Eagles.
Bengals.
Bengals.
Colts at Texans.
Texans.
That's real ball right there.
Texans.
This is a shootout. This is gonna be a shootout.
Now with
Texans.
Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson 8 for 36 basketball like numbers.
Not even his fault. His receivers.
That
suck.
motherfucker sucks.
Give me the Texans at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Titans at Lions.
Lions. What are these games? Damn.
Lions.
I guess is the line.
Damn.
God, this game should have been so fire. Falcons at Bucks.
Well, it's just the Falcons now.
Falcons.
Yeah. Falcons.
Saints at Chargers.
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 It's at the Chargers.
Yeah.
Spencer Rattler legacy game.
This man just hates the Chargers.
Bullshit.
Bills at Seahawks.
Oh.
Now that's real ball.
Is
Seahawks.
DK back?
Where is it? You said
Seattle.
Is DK healthy
Seahawks.
though?
12th man gonna be loud. I'll tell you that.
I think I go with the Bills because I don't
Take
think
the
DK
Seahawks
gonna
on the
play this
upset
week.
right here. Seahawks in the comeback.
Tyler Lockett's going to get in a time machine and get 10 years younger.
Seahawks
This
to
week.
cover.
No, it's gonna be fucking Bobo legacy.
What do you mean?
Jake Bobo.
Jake Bubble.
What's this guy talking about?
Give me
Give me Seattle.
the Bills just because I think James Cook gonna have a day against Seattle. Bears at Commanders.
When he has less than 10 rushing
This
attempts,
actually,
Yeah.
don't cry.
Bears
Yeah.
game actually got kicked to noon now.
Wait, wait, what's this game? Bears what?
Commanders.
Bears.
In Washington.
Bears.
Yeah. Bears.
I'm
As
going
of right now,
Bears.
no
Because I don't
Jaden
think I don't think Daniels will play. I'm going
Daniels.
Bears.
As of right now, no dude.
Yeah,
even
the
if,
Bears.
even if Jaden Daniels were to play, I still go Bears. Chiefs at Raiders. Chiefs.
At Raiders, you said?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Lost this game last year.
When we
Yeah,
see
so
the
they-
KC fall off that I talked about, and they drop this to the Raiders.
Raiders.
And they're still 6-1 after this
Hold
loss.
on. Yeah, but that's a stinky ass loss.
I don't know. They got killed by the Raiders last year at home, and they still won the Super Bowl.
Like Gardner
Give me the Raiders.
Minshew in there.
No.
The Rams.
Alexander Madison might pop off 120 yards rushing. I don't
We're
know.
talking about Alexander Madison and Gardner Minshew.
Brock Bowers. Oh no, it's the
It's
Chiefs.
just
Like we all
KC.
know, it's the Chiefs. They might be 20-point favorites. They might be the biggest spread in the fucking NFL history on betting sites.
Panthers at Broncos.
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 Cowboys at Niners.
Jesus Christ. It
Oh
might
my
actually be the
God.
Cowboys now.
Mm.
Niners.
I'm going to take the
Off
boys.
of a
I'm
bye?
I'm back
Off
the
a
boys.
bye?
I mean, I don't think this bye did anything good for us.
Think you lost the bye?
Maybe, I don't know. Who got healthy for real?
Give me the boys.
I'm back
But
the boys.
the Cowboys, after beating a hurt 49ers team, it's going to be Monday morning. We back. Three-peat starts now after y'all beat the Niners in San Fran.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with the Niners here.
If y'all lose to the Niners with no Debo, no Ayuk,
I might go with the Niners. I mean, Debo isn't confirmed out.
I heard hospitalized. I'm just gonna
that
assume he's
pneumonia
not back for
could
week
that pneumonia
8.
could just like
He's just a little sick.
he
Just
could
take
be
some
alright.
medicine.
He could be alright. I'm gonna
And
go with the
then-
Niners.
And then Giants at Steelers Monday night.
Yup.
Steelers.
Steel curtain, baby.
Steelers.
Let's walk.
Steelers.
Steel curtain, baby. We're at
And-
home.
Mm-hmm. And then we can wrap it up with new power rankings going into week 8. Last week we had Niners at 10, Bills at 9, Bucks at 8, Falcons at 7, Commanders at 6, Texans at 5, Ravens at 4, Lions at 3, Vikings at 2, KC at 1. This week, Eagles at 10, Steelers at 9, Commanders at 8, Texans at 7, Green Bay at 6, Bills at 5, Vikings at 4, Ravens at 3, Detroit at 2, Kansas City at 1 for the power rankings going into week 8.
Follow the Twitter.
But that's all we have for this episode. You guys want to wrap it up there?
Subscribe.
Yep.
You're
For sure. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Barrels Talk podcast. Hope to see you tune in to future episodes.